Hi everyone and welcome to English for You. I'm Pat.
I'm Chickling.
So today we're talking about visiting a country with some amazing natural sights.
Aww.
Have you ever been to a place that has like a really famous natural view?
Your country.
My country, England.
I believe where you're from, London.
I'm not from London.
Oh, sorry.
Don't worry about it. What do you see in England?
You've lived there for a while, right?
Nope.
Okay, I'm so sorry. Okay.
What's in London that you've seen?
Okay. The Tower of London.
Right.
The British Museum.
Yep.
And St. Paul's Cathedral.
Okay. Anything natural?
A natural history museum. Does that count?
Not quite.
The London Eye.
Also not natural.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay,
Today we're talking about, I guess, one of the things.
Windsor Castle. Is that?
It was also built by people, believe it or not. But we do have a man-made one, as well as a natural one in the 2-day article we've got here. When I read this, I was thinking about natural stuff that I'd seen. Niagara Falls on the border between Canada and the US. That enormous waterfall. You could just keep watching it because you're like, how is this so big? How much water is going over here? All the foam and spray everywhere. It is an amazing sight. So today, however, we're going to Peru.
Oh, Milu.
Right, a country I've never even thought about visiting before. I don't know much about it, but we're going to see some beautiful sights there. Let's read through our article and find out what they are.
Reading. What to see in pretty Peru: salt mines and Rainbow Peak. Water from a natural spring flows down a mountain slope in the Andes, following an amazing path. It seems to stream downstairs as it fills the thousands of shallow pools that make up each terrace. These are the salt mines of Marus, a small town in Peru. For centuries, the area's traditional method of salt mining has provided locals with valuable salt and shaped the land's striking views. While the practice dates back to before Inca times, the town's farming families have no trouble using the same system today. Usually, one family owns one of the area's approximately 4,500 small wells. When the natural spring's salty water streams down the mountain, workers carefully close off each pool as it fills. As the water dries up with the sun's heat, it leaves a deposit of salt crystals behind. This is later collected for the market. The ancient system is not only culturally important, but also has transformed the land into a UNESCO World Heritage Site.
Okay, so our article in day 1 is going to introduce one of our sites, and it starts with a description of what people can see in this part of Peru. It says, water from a natural spring flows down a mountain slope in the Andes, following an amazing path. The Andes is a long range of mountains, so lots of them all in one kind of connected thing. It runs down the western side of South America, passing through several countries. Now, we also saw the word amazing in that sentence. Amazing means great, wonderful, really, really good. Something that when you see it, you just go, wow, and stop what you're doing to look at it or watch. For example, it was such an amazing movie that I decided to see it again the following day.
所以 amazing 就是惊人的、令人惊喜的，所以我们可以说 It's amazing how she managed to perform the song after only hearing it a few times. 那这个字的动词呢是 amaze， 就是使什么谁谁谁惊愕或惊讶。比如说 My hairdresser never fails to amaze me， 或者 be amazed by or at something。我们可以讲 We are both amazed at how much time has changed us. 那它的名词就是 amazement， 就是惊奇或吃惊的意思。 所以文章的意思就是天然泉水沿着一条美妙的小径流下安第斯山脉的山坡哦。So we know that the water follows an amazing path as it goes down the mountainside.
Right. Next, the article says, it seems to stream downstairs as it fills the thousands of shallow pools that make up each terrace. We've got a bit to look at here, starting with the word stream. So stream here is being used as a verb. Now, as a noun, a stream is just a small river. But as a verb, to stream means to flow in one direction without stopping. Rivers always stream toward the sea and down hills. If you pour water out of a jug, it will stream into your cup, as long as you do it in a slow, controlled way. We can also use this word to talk about things that are moving like water, all in this one direction without stopping, like the people streamed into the department store as soon as it opened. So they just kind of move in that one direction without stopping or changing round. Here's another example. There was too much water in the bath, so it streamed over the side and onto the floor.
Stream 就是一个不断流动的意思，或流出，这边是当动词。那我可以说 Tears streamed down her face as she heard the news， 可能听到很伤心的消息。那 stream 这个字也可以当名词哦，有溪流的意思。比如说两山间的流水 a mountain stream， 或者是另一个名词解释有人流的意思。比如说 I left the theater because I saw a stream of people going into it。So this water streams down the mountain. 对，它流下来这个山坡。
Right, and it goes over a set of things that look like stairs or steps, which is why we say it seems to stream downstairs.
But they're not stairs, they're shallow pools.
Exactly. If something is shallow, it's not deep. You could stand in a shallow pool and the water wouldn't go much over your knees.Some swimming pools, or the whole area, they will have a shallow pool for young children and learners, and one end is usually shallow and the other is deep. The deeper pools, of course, are for people who are good swimmers. So you could say, the stream here is shallow, so we can walk across it without getting too wet.Yeah,
所以 shallow 就是很浅的或不深的，所以我可以说 For safety, I decided to stay in the shallow end of the swimming pool. 那代表我就是为了安全，就是停在比较浅水的地方。那么 shallow 这个字也可以形容一个人很肤浅哦。比如说 I'm not into shallow men。那做名词用的话呢，后面加上一个 s 就会变成 the shallows， 就代表浅水区的意思。
Now, we also saw the phrase make up, and this is one of today's grammar points. We use make up in this way to show what something consists of or has as its main features.So you could say, this test is made up of 3 parts. So there are 3 parts to it. Maybe reading, writing, and listening. There are terraces on this mountain, and these terraces are made up of shallow pools.
那我们先来看第一个文法点 A make up B 就是有代表 A 构成 B 的意思。那 made up be made up of 就是有组成的意思哦。那相关的用法我们整理跟下面这边A make up B 就是代表 A 组成 B 嘛，或者是呢 A compose B 就是有 A 组成 B， 或者是我们可以说 B is made up of A or B is composed of A， 或者是直接说呢 B consists of A， 意思就是说呢 B 由 A 组成。那注意哦 consist of 本身就有什么组成的意思，所以没有必要去用被动语态。我们看几个例句。比如说 water makes up 60% of the human body， 我们改写 compose 可以变成 water composes 60% of the human body， 或者是呢 60% of the human body is made up of water， 或者是 60% of the human body is composed of water， 那或者是用 consist 可以变成 60% of the human body consists of water。那水组成的 60% 的人体，代表人体的 60% 是由水来组成的。So, what is a terrace?
In this case, a terrace is each one of a series of flat areas that are made on a slope. So kind of a flat bit and a flat bit and a flat bit. Each one is a terrace. And these areas are usually used for growing plants for food. So I think a lot of tea might be planted in kind of terraces.
Yeah, 就是梯田的意思. So what is this place we're describing?
Well, the article says these terraces with the streams that flow down across them, these are the salt mines of Marus, a small town in Peru. I think it's Marus. It could be Marus. I'm not really sure. What I do know is that Peru is a country on the west coast of South America.
所以这些浅池呢，其实就是秘鲁小镇马拉斯的盐田。
We also learn that for centuries, the area's traditional method of salt mining has provided locals with valuable salt and shaped the land's striking views. So this is a method of getting salt. A method is a way of doing something, the particular process that is used to complete a task or an activity. So one method of mining salt is to go underground and smash rocks until you have what you need. This is another method or another way of getting salt. For example, you could say, my dad showed me the correct method for changing a car tire.
所以 method 就是方法办法。那我们可以说 he uses this method of cooking since it locks in the flavor of meat. And this method provided the locals with salt.
Exactly. To provide someone with something is to make this thing available to that person. A teacher provides education and knowledge to students, for example, while a cow provides people with milk.
所以 provide A with B 就是为 A 提供 B 或者是 to provide B for or to A. So how did all this water give people salt?
Well, the next part of the article says, while the practice dates back to before Inca times, the town's farming families have no trouble using the same system today. So this is a very old way of doing it. It's kind of been, and it can still work today. And the people, they find it easy. That's what we mean with this other grammar point here. To have trouble doing something means you find this thing difficult. While in our article, to have no trouble doing something means you find it very easy.
所以这是我们今天另外一个 grammar point, 就是一个人 have problems, trouble, difficulty, a hard time doing something. 那就后面呢常接是 VING form, 代表你做什么事情有困难，或者 it is a little hard for you to do something. 那可以搭配 some, great, 或者是 little 来修饰困难的程度。比如说呢，那甚至是 trouble 像 difficulty 这些字可以用 no 来搭配，代表你没有困难哦。那 a hard time 呢，则通常是用单数可数名词的形式来呈现。我们造一个例句 The students had a hard time finishing this math problem, so I gave them extra help. 文章意思是说呢，这些农家使用同一个系统呢，是完全没有问题的。And in this case, we say people these days have no problem using the same system as they did in the past.
That is right. So here we talked about a system. They're using this system of getting salt, okay? A system can mean a set of things working together as parts of something larger and more complicated. So think of all the parts of our body. Many parts work together to make certain things work. So moving the blood around our heart, that's one particular body system. Dealing with the food we eat, that is a different system. And all of these different systems make up one large system, which is the human body. Now here we're talking about all the parts of the salt mining system used in this part of Peru and how they all work together to provide the salt. The meaning is also a little similar to method. A system of doing something is a way of doing something. And here's another example. Taipei's MRT system can take people all over the city as well as to many parts of New Taipei City.
System 就是系统的意思。那我们补充一个用法 to get something out of your system 代表发泄你的负面情绪的意思。所以我可以说 I was so stressed out. I was too stressed out, so I had to go for a swim to get it out of my system. So let's look at the parts of this salt mining system.
Yeah, because they don't just go and like smash the rocks and get the salt and break it all down and stuff. This is a different way of doing it. And we see in the article that usually one family owns one of the area's approximately 4,500 small wells. So a well, of course, is just that kind of usually a tunnel or a hole that gives you access to the natural water. Each family owns one well. And when we're talking about a number, we use the word approximately to mean about. We're giving a general number or amount of something, not the exact amount. So there might be 4,511 wells or 4,492 wells. But giving that exact number, it's not always that useful. So we just say approximately 4,500 as it's easier to kind of think up that number rather than give the exact number. We also use this when it's hard to count.
Oh, yeah, 所以就是有大约将近有 around about 老师刚刚有讲 approximately 这个字，所以在那里的农家呢，每一户都会有一个井。So we start with lots of small wells.
Exactly. And then we see that when the natural spring's salty water streams down the mountain, workers carefully close off each pool as it fills. So there's another use of streams from our article. So the water's coming out of these wells and it's salty water, kind of like the water in the sea, but it's got salt in it. It comes out flowing over all of these terraces, and as each terrace, each pool fills up to the top, they close it off.
所以呢，当这些天然的盐水流下来，农人们呢就会把每个盐池小心的关起来哦。Then, as the water dries up with the sun's heat, it leaves a deposit of salt crystals behind.
Okay, now let's think about this. There's water, and then the salt is in the water, so you need to get rid of the water. And they just do this naturally. The sun dries it up. If something dries up, then all the water in it or on it is gone. So think, if it rains one day, there'll be puddles on the floor. But if the next day is hot and sunny, these puddles will dry up. They'll be gone. All the water will disappear.
就是使什么东西干透了的意思。And when the water dries, it leaves salt crystals.
That's right. So a crystal is a solid, regular 3D shape with many flat faces. Think of a diamond or some other kind of precious stone. Now, in nature, many normal things form crystals. Salt is one of them. If you think of all the salt you put on your food, one tiny piece of this salt, we would call it either a crystal, a salt crystal, or just a grain of salt.
所以呢 crystal 就是结晶或结晶体，那么阳光照到这些盐水干透后呢，盐水就会干掉嘛，就会留下盐的结晶。
And we see that this, meaning all these salt crystals, is later collected for the market. So they wait for the water to dry and then they go around going, okay, salt here, fill up a bag, take it off and sell it.
And then the first part of the article finishes by saying the ancient system is not only culturally important, but also has transformed the land into a UNESCO World Heritage Site.
Yeah, that's right. To transform is to change from one form into another. So a caterpillar transforms into a butterfly later in life, while an egg will transform into a bird or a lizard of some kind. So the way this water flows out changes the way the land appears. It's transforming it. Here's another example. The artist transformed the old building into an interesting museum.
所以 transform 就是彻底改变 to transform A into B 就是把 A 变成 B 那我们可以说 My parents transformed our extra room into a recording studio 那么呢 transform 的名词就是 transformation 变化比如说 You need to come and see the transformation of our yard It's completely different from before所以这个古老的系统呢不只很重要哦也把这个土地变成 UNESCO World Heritage Site 这个意思是联合国教科文组织世界文化遗址 Wow, that's a long name.
It is. What it means is it's kind of protected by a UN organization that makes sure nobody builds on it. They kind of make sure it gets money to protect it, that kind of thing, so that this can stay the same and not get changed or destroyed or just left alone. So we'll learn about another interesting place in Peru tomorrow, but right now, let's go to today's For You Chat question.
For You Chat.
So today was all about this traditional way of salt mining or getting salt, a tradition of letting the water flow out and then collecting it once it's dried. But thinking about traditions, what is one of your favorite traditions? Why?
Well, I think I'm going to talk about Dragon Boat Festival.
Okay.
It's one of my favorite traditions because my mom makes the best rice dumplings ever existed in the world.
Okay.
And they're low in calories, but just even if, but they're really delicious, flavorful, and it's not salty and they're just yummy.
Do you do the tradition with the egg as well?
Oh yeah, sometimes I do that with my sister. I never succeeded.
Oh well, never mind. So yeah, you can have traditions to do with people's holidays and culture. One of my favorite traditions is to do with sport. It's kind of connected to a holiday as well. It's the Boxing Day soccer game in the UK. Boxing Day is the day after Christmas.
Okay.
And it's always loads of soccer matches on. And if I'm ever going to go to a game, I'll want to go on Boxing Day because the atmosphere is good, because no one's at work, it's a holiday. There always seems to be interesting games and there's sport on all day. You can watch it at home, go to the match, then come back and watch more sport. It's a brilliant day. Just sport all over the world of all kinds. It's great fun. But that's all the time we've got for today. Join us again tomorrow to learn more about an interesting thing to see in Peru. We'll see you then. Bye for now.
Vocabulary Review.
Amazing. The train gives great views of some amazing mountain scenes, which will certainly make passengers want to take photos. Stream. Tears were streaming out of Maggie's eyes after she learned that her dog had died. Shallow. The swimming teacher told Tommy to practice in the shallow end of the pool because he couldn't swim well yet. Method. The baker's method for making bread is different from the way other bakers make it. System. Some people believe that our education system causes a lot of pressure for students. Transform. The designer transformed the old house into something that looked new and modern.
智慧小补帖
Terrace. Approximately. Crystal.
以上节目是由活用空中美语制作。活用空中美语杂志，请洽询全国各大书店。如欲索取试听教材，请来电02-2364-4000 02-2364-4000，或上网查询，网址是 www.english4u.net www.english4u.net